friends. Welcome to Story Behind Podcast. This is the show for people who love hearing a good story and who believe the world could use more positivity. We're the team behind GodUpdates and God2, and we hope these weekly short stories will brighten your day.
Family of 3 grows to 7 overnight with birth of quadruplets. Written by Heather Riggleman, read by Julie Provost. The Larry family of 3 grows to 7 overnight with the birth of quadruplets. The chances of this kind of pregnancy happening is 1 in 700,000, but that just shows God has much bigger plans for our lives than we do. It goes to show just how much He moves in miraculous ways. When Mom Farah learned that she was expecting 4 precious little girls instead of 1, she said, "God will make a way. He gave us 4. He obviously has a plan." The couple, Farah and her husband Peyton, met in college 9 years ago. They couldn't wait to start a family, and they were overjoyed with the birth of their son, PJ. Now that he was getting older, the couple thought it was time to try again. This time, Farah was praying for a girl. Her prayers were more than answered. They were multiplied by 4. As she lay in the ultrasound room, her joy grew when she saw 4 strong little heartbeats on the screen. Their family grew from 3 to 7 overnight with the birth of Phelan, Psalm, Lyric, and Paisley. We may have a plan for our lives, but God's plan is always greater, often surprising us with blessings that deepen our trust in Him. Farah and Peyton's story show that God's timing is perfect, and He is faithful to provide exactly what we need, even when we least expect it. While Farah is over the moon in all things bows and pretty in pink, Peyton's prayers include the ability to provide for his family, which will involve getting a minivan or bus to drive. And that's where Farah's faith comes in. If God brought them this far, with these precious little girls, He will bring them farther yet and answer Peyton's prayers. As you reflect on this family's journey, remember that God's plans for you may not always look like what you envisioned, but they are always filled with purpose. Lean into His faithfulness and trust that He is making a way for you, just as He did for the Larry family. Psalm 127, 3-5. Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from Him. Like arrows in the hands of a warrior are children born in one's youth. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. California man carpools with adult children on his very last day of work before retirement. Written by Heather Riggleman, read by Julie Provost. A California man carpools with his adult children on his very last day of work before retirement. And let me tell you, it wasn't his choice. But by the looks captured on camera, he was loving every moment they took down memory lane. As a mom to 1 grown adult child and the next one in college, I have 3 years left with my youngest. The end of the carpool lane is in sight. I've spent more mornings than I can remember in the carpool lane. The kids can't forget it, especially those mornings when we ran late and I was in my pajamas, slippers, and robe. But at least I got to school on time and knew I cared enough to get them to where they needed to be. The same goes for the Houlihan kids. Their dad, Tim, spent 41 years working at St. Francis High School in Mountain View, where many of those days he spent driving his 3 kids, Brian Houlihan, 37, Kelsey Houlihan Ford, 35, and Matt Houlihan, 33, to school. They decided to carpool to work with him on his last day to commemorate those early morning commutes. They added a touch of nostalgia with old music, more like noise to their dad, by queuing up their old playlists and even stopping in at their dad's favorite bakery for a few bagels for the road. Needless to say, Tim didn't seem annoyed or embarrassed. He was touched by his kids' desire to do something special, like carpooling to work on his last day, reliving the days on memory lane instead of throwing a big retirement party. Sometimes it's the memories that matter the most. In small gestures like being present, offering support, and showing appreciation, we can express our love in return. It's not about grand, extravagant gestures. It's about honoring them in ways that mean the most, like stopping at the House of Bagels. Truly, it's the small things that mean so much.
Thank you so much for listening to Story Behind Podcast. We're really glad you joined us for this week's story. To see photos and videos that may have been referenced in this episode, check out the links in the show notes. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe to our podcast, and please tell a friend about us. We'd also love it if you'd rate us and leave us a review. It really does help more people find us. Story Behind is a Salem Web Network production.
Everyone wants to change the world. Capital Ministries is doing just that, one heart at a time, by creating disciples of Jesus Christ among political leaders in the U.S. and foreign nations. For more than 25 years, founder Ralph Drollinger has written Bible studies specifically for public servants. Study along with us and learn what the Bible says about capitalism, communism, abortion, same-sex marriage, and other contemporary issues. Subscribe and follow us at lifeaudio.com or search Capital Ministries on your favorite podcast platform.